So I was going through the documents. Now, you might ask, why does it take me so long? Well, there is over 700 pages just from the first update alone. And I see my name here. This is, of course, my YouTube channel. Just going to read it to you. Since the filing of this lawsuit, a letter a former H3Snark moderator wrote to a YouTube lawyer, 55, was released that shows moderators who are actively seeking guidance on how to make the subreddit as compliant with copyright law as possible. The email was sent 2 weeks prior to the publishing of the content nuke Hassan Piker. Here is what the legal YouTuber LUS showed in his video. So yeah, I did blur out the email and I blurred out the name in case, again, at that point in time, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But yeah, that is the message they sent me. I then made a YouTube video. Dear Tony, I hope this message finds you well. My name is blank. I'm a moderator of H3Snark. In the timeline, you can see the date. It was 2 weeks before. And I kind of, what if I responded to this email? Now, I was going through a lot myself, having a daughter, recently having a daughter, and having some other issues. Just call it like family issues, personal issues, if you will. So I actually did not respond to the email. I read the email. I knew it existed, and it was a relatively longer email. So here you can see LUS, Ethan Klein versus H3Snark mods. My honest advice to H3Snark, too late. I also love the fact that they included the little light bulbs, which is on my video title. And then there's a link to my video, which is still live today. And so I got mentioned in the Doe affidavit. It's very, because I do think that they were asking for guidance, given that maybe some of the things at that time they were worried that Ethan Klein was copyright striking them, DMCAing various clips. So the worry at that point was clips, and I feel like that's a easier topic to tackle because a clip is a short form, basically a YouTube short type of thing that they were sharing on Reddit. The guidance there would have been a lot easier than, hey, why don't we send a link to somebody who is going to play Ethan Klein's entire video and be high on weed? Casey Tron, shout out to Casey Tron. Or why don't we have somebody go off in the bathroom? Like I said, the argument, like, I really could have helped them out here. Like, I don't know what they're doing here. The argument to me is a very simple argument that, like, they linked to these people, but they were unaware of their illegal activities. Let me repeat this again. You got to run Denins over a bus. And what your argument would be is, hey, Denins did do copyright infringement, but we had no idea she was going to do it. Right? But their argument is the reverse. There's like, oh, Denins didn't do copyright infringement, therefore we didn't do it as well. This is a much weaker argument. I understand why they make the argument, but I don't like it, from a perspective of saving yourself or saving somebody who you've never met, who you've never interacted with. I'm talking about Denins and the H3Snark mods. I think if Denin had the opportunity to give up your name, she would. So again, rephrasing, having read all 700 of these pages, painstakingly pages, and again, it takes time to read it, right? And I was a little amazed that my video and my name, or I guess my channel name, was dropped as a defense, and it's not bad. To be quite honest, they were seeking advice on copyright law that I felt it would have been appropriate for me to give them. At the time, I didn't respond because I had personal issues, and leave it at that. But had I responded, I would have gave them guidelines. Okay, do this, do that, and definitely I would not, because when you link to someone else, the danger is you don't know what they're going to do, right? But that's also your main benefit, is you don't know what they're going to do. They could stream the whole thing and nothing, with no change. No, they could go to the bathroom the entire time. They could just be twiddling their thumbs, right? They could be doing all this stuff, but your defense would be, I had no idea they were going to do that to that extent. Or, okay, if I did know, so I did not know they were going to do that. I did not know they were going to do copyright infringement. But if I knew they were going to do copyright infringement, there was no way for me to tell it would be this blatant, or it would just be them like smoking weed and coughing. That would be a acceptable defense. Now, would the judge accept it? Would the judge say, oh, well, okay, here? It really does depend on the exact tweets. It depends on the interpretation of, did they know or did they not know? How much did they actually know about what was going to happen? Because clearly Denon's committed copyright infringement. Clearly Caseytron committed copyright infringement. Clearly Frogan committed copyright infringement. I don't really need to go into too much, but we will find out. So that is my belief. I'm just speculating here, but it is my belief all three of them will be found guilty should they not settle, because it's basically night and day. It's black and white. It's yes or no. Are they guilty of copyright infringement? Yes. And in fact, I feel that if you ask these three individuals and you put them in a settlement room, they will actually admit that they are guilty of copyright infringement to help settlement proceedings. Caseytron has already offered $17,500 to settle. Hassan has already voiced his opinion that Ethan should settle and save his, reputation to who and why, who knows. The main takeaway, and I want to make sure that you guys understand this, is I think this is not good. This is not good. It's not good to drop 700 plus pages on a magistrate judge when she's starting her week. It is not good to bring outside drama. And this is something Carl Jobs is a master of. It's like, oh, did Billy Mitchell cheat? Cheating had nothing to do. If it had anything to do with it, it was like 2% or less. The question is very simple. Did Carl Jobs defame Billy Mitchell as the topic of Apollo Legend? And the answer is yes. So don't, like, when you have all this stuff, and it's a story, right? But it's a very long story. It is a Harry Potter book. None of it actually matters, right? The only question that should be answered is, are these H3 mods guilty of contributory copyright infringement? If they are guilty, should their names be publicized, or should they be turned over? There is a scenario that they are going to have to represent themselves anonymously. You see this with many of the blank crimes that, happen when a man blanks a woman and the person needs protection because maybe it's a famous celebrity or, God forbid, a famous athlete. It is a very interesting dilemma here that they're facing, because they really do need to run Denon's over with a bus, because their best defense is they didn't know that Denon's would do what she did. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Bye, guys. Oh, also, thanks for the shout out.